Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Evan and this is the Turbo. Kendall's been gone for a little bit. She's being bougie in California. I've been back here, working hard like always. So got the car. I think last video we still had it as a rolling chassis. Still had quite a bit of stuff in there. I ended up just taking everything out just to do it right. We had our soda blaster come out on last Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to soda blast the car. Got that done. Got the car loaded up on the truck. Brought it over to our body shop and started the actual body repair / prep work for paint. Started on this on Monday, today's Wednesday. Once the car was blasted, it still has a coating on there. If you look back here in the engine bay, you can still see it because I haven't gotten to that point yet. Underneath the paint and primer, there's a corrosive coating that keeps it from rusting, so on and so forth. A lot of people say you can paint over it. Personally, I don't like it. I like it to make sure I have a good adhesion. So taking 180 to the whole body of the car, knocking off that layer, getting some good scratches in there for our primer to bond to. Basically doing every single nook and cranny. Anywhere it's going to see paint, sanded up in the fender wells, everything, even inside here that you'll never see in a million years. All through the front area, which once again, you'll never see this, but this is the proper way to do a car. My eyes. It's almost like a restoration. This is not your run-of-the-mill, take your car somewhere, pay 15 grand, get a color change on the car. This is probably closer to knocking on a $60,000 paint job once it's all said and done with materials and everything. Whole car's 180. The doors, I asked the soda blaster not to blast them because the doors in this car are aluminum and they can warp it. Well, he didn't blast the skin of the door, but he did blast the inside of the door. And once I got them here, primed them, did the first block, you could see the waves in the door. So we had to go through there on the back side, do some metal work, do some very light glaze work. They've been blocked in sand twice now and doing the final blocking tomorrow, and the doors and the fenders should be done. So once that's done, they're going to the booth and get sprayed, and then the actual body of the car need to finish sanding, which I'll do tonight, scuff up the insides, pressure wash it out, acid etch it, and then primer the body of the car, then start blocking the car down. But the body of the car is pretty straight, so it shouldn't be any kind of body work. It should be pretty straightforward. Just prime, block, then do a final primer, and then shoot it. I'm trying to think. The roof will, after we get the primer done, we're gonna do one base coat, and then we will make sure there's no imperfections in that, make sure it's perfect. Do the second layer of base coat. Once again, go through, make sure it's perfect. Put the roof on, and then we'll do our first clear coat, make sure it's good, and come back again, do another layer of clear coat. We'll start assembling everything back together, getting the doors to fit right, getting the fenders to fit right. And then I'll probably come back here, and instead of bringing the car back like it is now on the table and everything like that, I'd feel much better with the car being a rolling chassis. So probably bring the suspension and everything back over here, put it on there, and then once that's done, we'll get it back to the shop. The wet sand process, which will be another long and grueling process like this. We'll probably start out with 1,000 or 1,200 and work our way up to 3,000. Do our first pass with the compound with everything still apart, and then once all the compounding is done and everything, we'll put it together, do the final polish, and then PPF. And when we do PPF on this car, it's going to be PPF door jambs. We're going to do PPF with the glass out, so there'll be no seam. PPF has to go underneath all the molding. The car's not going to see a lot of harsh weather conditions. The PPF should last a very long time, so it's going to be on for a while. So I want to do it one time, do it right, and it'll be good. The roof came in last week, and we did kind of a test fit, and it's FVD roof, and they're one of the few companies out there that I was able to find that you can actually clear coat the carbon and still see the weave underneath it. Most of these places, the molds are old, so you have to paint the carbon fiber. But put it on there, the test fit was almost pretty much spot on. And what you'll do is kind of just put the roof skin on, and then it still retains the drain from the side. So we'll put the roof on, set it on there, get it centered left to right, and then we will put some clamps on it to hold it there. Make sure that the what is that called? The rail's back on here, and make sure that everything fits well, and then we can mark it. You can mark each corner, and then we will use panel bond and put it on the car, clamp it down really well, and let that dry, adhere, bond, and then we'll come through across the edges, the seams, and do a seam sealer on there, and then we'll be able to, the roof will be done at that point. The roof, they do say whenever you put the carbon roof on there, since there's no support here, you're supposed to run a full roll cage on the car. We're going to do just a half cage. We don't plan on doing anything, track, or if this car is retired from the track, it's going to be basically, a good driver for us and a collector car for us, and it's done right. This car's gonna last a lot longer than I will. So yeah, we're gonna hopefully try to have some paint laid down on the doors, fenders tomorrow, door handles, all that stuff's done. And then have this thing acid etched and primed tomorrow. And then the goal is gonna be to have the actual paint on the car early next week and get it wrapped up by midweek and get it back to the shop in the week. And then we can start putting it back together. I want to do that kind of sooner than later because a lot of stuff that's still fresh in my mind and I want to make sure it goes back together right. I'm waiting on a few things. All the stickers to the doors, we got Brandon from Porsche. The VIN tag up on here on the cow. There's a VIN tag that goes right here. The one that was on the car was kind of messed up already, so we're gonna go ahead and just replace that. But it's a 6 to 8 week order time from Germany. We'll have to wait to put the windshield back in before we can do that. The interior's pretty much done. We're gonna do a few tweaks to what we already have. Yeah, we should be good to go and start rolling on getting it back together and get on the road within the next couple months, hopefully. We'll see. But anyways, thanks guys for watching, and check back in here in the next week or so. We should have paint on the car, and I think you guys are gonna like the color we went with. If you have any questions, please comment below.